everyone, I hope you all are good, doing well. So today we are here again with one of the most important theme in terms of our examination, be it UPSC and prelims, UPSC prelims or mains or state PCS examination. The topic, if you are going through the newspaper, like this is the term which you have seen a lot of time, every day I could say it is present in our newspaper. So today we are going to cover this term, that is inflation, in depth. I will try to make you explain in a layman manner. I hope you are going to get a better idea about the inflation as a topic. So this lecture is prepared by me. My name is Shama. Time and again I always emphasize that whenever and whatever we are reading during our preparations, especially our competitive exam preparation, we have we don't have much time, so whatever we read we have to connect it with our syllabus. And if I connect this topic with inflation, every year I could say the question has been asked in UPSC prelims and state PCS examination, directly or indirectly related to inflation, be it CPI, WPI, GDP deflator. The question of GDP deflator has been asked in the year 2023 in UPSC examination. The another key term which we are seeing here, that is a base year inflation targeting. So this kind of a question has been asked again and again. If I connect this topic with the main syllabus, we can see here in the GS paper 3 the role of inflation in economic stability. We can see how the inflation is being targeted under the monetary policy and under the fiscal policy. What is termed as a monetary policy? The policy or the step or the measures taken by the RBI government, we can term it as a monetary policy, and whatever kind of a measure like a policy which has been made by the government, we term it as a fiscal policy. If in terms of a essay topic, I could say the how impact of inflation is hurting middle class in India. Another, how inflation is a kind of a evil in economic growth. So today we are going to deal this topic in a depth. I hope it will give you the picture would be very clear at the end. So the first of all, we are going to see what is inflation. In layman language, if I say the general and sustained increase in a price level of goods and services in an economy is over a period of a time. Suppose the pen, I'm giving you example in order to make you understand what is inflation. Suppose this pen which I bought and it cost me 50 rupees, but there are certain guidelines which has been stated by the government that the plastic or the thickness of the plastic which being used in this pen has to be increased, and the founder of this pen implement that guidelines of government. So what will happen? This will increase the cost of this price. Suppose this pen costed me 50 rupees, and now after applying this guidelines and manufacturing it again as per the guidelines, its price might increase to 52 rupees. So this is what we can say inflation, a general increase like over a period of a time. If in economy there is an increase in the price of goods and services, then we term it as a inflation. There are certain term which I mentioned here, and the question has been asked in from this term also. So the first we can see here, that is deflation. So the term is very clear. The prefix is what? D. Whenever the prefix like D dash is added, it gives the negative connotation, negative meaning to that word. So what is deflation? Deflation is a persistent decrease in the level of a price. So the price was 50 rupees, now it will decrease to 48 rupees, then 47.50 paisa. This is termed as a deflation. If I talk about the inflation, that is temporary slowing of pace of inflation. Suppose the inflation is slowing, but it is not slowing it is a temporary kind of a slowdown in the inflation, if in a layman language I would say. Next we are seeing reflation. Reflation, suppose government like monetary or the fiscal policy, the government and the RBI is taking certain step in order to tackle the inflation. So this is said to be reflation. Like we are trying to again See, this term inflation is not harmful if it is at a moderate level. It become harmful when it is at a high, and it is not good for economy when it is at low, or if an economy is having a zero inflation, that means the growth of that economy is not at all, it is also zero. So inflation is good when it is at a moderate level, but it is bad for economy when it increases at a peak. So next we are going to see another slide we are seeing here. Type of inflation. So what are the type? We can further divide into the two subtype, that is on the basis of cause, on the basis of speed. If I talk about on the basis of cause, there are further subdivision, that is demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. The question has been asked from this point also. So what is demand pull inflation? Suppose there is an increase in the price because of the demand of a certain product or certain goods or services. Suppose in UPSC examination, especially during the mains time, we see the demand of this price increases, or like people think this pen has a certain kind of a magic in it, and if you write mains, then you are going to qualify it. So the demand of this pen increase in the market. So because of this demand, high demand, there is insufficient supply, so there might be increase in the price of this pen. Next we can see the cost push inflation. That is, suppose like I have given the example of government guidelines, how the government guidelines of using certain has increased the price of this. So rising production cost, if due to the rising production cost, the price of this pen has increased, then that is said to be cost push inflation. I hope you understood both the term. So demand pull inflation is somehow, I could say it is good, because if the demand is not, there is a possibility that the price will low. But if I talk about the cost push inflation, that is not good for economy, because once the price increase, it is hard, like rarely we see the decrease in the price of the same product again. If I talk about on the basis of speed, we are having here that four subtype: creeping inflation, walking inflation, running inflation, and hyperinflation. What is creeping inflation? If the inflation rate is less than 3%, then we are seeing it as a creeping inflation. If the rate of inflation is 3 to 10%, we say it as a walking inflation. If the rate of inflation is 10 to 20% around, then we talk it as a running inflation or tottering inflation. Hyperinflation or galloping inflation is something that rapid and uncontrolled price increase. The recent example I could remember, that is in the year 2011, I think we have seen in Zimbabwe the kind of a hyperinflation, and during the time of like war, in the First World War era, you might have heard you might have heard about the like people used to the situation of hyperinflation in Germany. Like people used to take used to fill their cart with money, and they have to dump it to the store, and they just get a one bun in return of that full cart of money. So that is said to be hyperinflation, that is rapid and uncontrolled price increase. Next, another one of the very favorite term, that is stagflation for the PCS and UPSC both prelims examination, and you have to remember it in like very that is two words, stag and inflation, that is high inflation as well as high unemployment rate. So if the situation in an economy where we are seeing high inflation as well as high unemployment rate, we term it as a stagflation. Now here we are seeing factor affecting demand side. So what are the factors which affect the demand side and because of which the inflation increase? So the increase in a money supply. Suppose in an economy there is an increase in a money supply because of a certain reason. If I give the individual level, if suppose if I give the individual like increase of a money supply in my pocket, if I give the example, suppose earlier my salary was 10,000 rupees and I switch my job, now my salary is 20,000 rupees in general. So the amount which I was investing at food, that was 3,000. Now I'm earning 20,000. So might be the amount which I'm investing in food has increased 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. So like the increase in a money has increased what? The demand of certain products. Suppose earlier I was using normal rice. Now I want to eat basmati. So this is how the demand has increased, because I have the flow of money, or there is a supply of money has been increased at a personal level. So the same we can see in an economy level also. If suppose the interest rate is low, so we can see the increase in a money supply in an economy. So people will start demanding another product. Next, we can see increased disposable income. What is disposable income? After deducting, suppose you are earning whatever you are earning and you deduct your direct tax. So whatever money you are left with, that is said to be a disposable income. So I have given my example earlier, that you can fit it again here. Cheap monetary policy. Suppose RBI decided to lower the repo rate. So what it will do? It will decrease the interest rate and the bank will give you a loan at a cheaper interest rate. So this is what it is going to increase the money flow, and then the money flow then somehow that will in turn increase the demand of a certain product. So this is how the inflation would be, inflation could occur. Increase in a public expenditure, suppose government is putting a lot of focus on the infrastructure development, so the lot of people are getting jobs, so their money is being paid, wages are being paid to those labor, so their cost or their supply the money is being with them, so now they will demand certain product from the market. So this is how the demand side also increase, and increased borrowing here you can see. Now we are going to see what are the factors which affect, because of the supply, how the inflation is being affected. Like shortage of factor of production. So what are the factor of production? Like if I give you example, land, labor, capital or entrepreneurs. Suppose if I give the example, in my society there are 4 people who were doing work of a painting, and during Diwali I find there is only one painter who is doing the work of painting in a whole society. So earlier the painter used to charge 10,000 rupees because there were ability of 4 painter, but now as the ability of a painter is one only, there is a one person who is doing the painting work, so he is demanding 12,000 rupees. So we can see the shortage of factor of production has increased what? Increased the that price of that labor of that person. So this is how we can see. Another example we can see natural calamities, like due to the COVID we have seen how the forward and backward linkages we can see has been impacted because of the natural calamities like earthquake, because of the flood. We have seen time and again the supply chain is always being disturbed. Artificial scarcity, like every year we have seen the noise related to the increase in the price of onion, increase in the price of a garlic, because of a what? Because of a hoarding of this product. International factor, like because of the international war which we are seeing is between 2 countries, Russia and Ukraine, we can see how the whole world is being impacted because the increase, there would be increase in the price of crude oil. So this is how it will impact the supply side also. Increase in indirect tax we can see, like GST which has been implemented in India, and the charges of GST is somehow 5%, 10%, 18% we are seeing, and then again 28%. So this is also somehow increase the supply side also. Next we are going to see the cause of inflation. Again, monetary cause, increase in a money supply, loss in monetary policy. Structural we can see external factor, exchange rate fluctuation, import dependency, and other factor like black money is somehow is also can play an important role in increasing inflation. Next here we can see 2 measuring instrument which is used by the RBI, and which is look after like in order to release the data of inflation. So this 2 key term has been time and again asked by the UPSC, and as well the like to the in PCS examination also we have seen this 2 term which is very relevant. One is WPI, that is wholesale price index, another is CPI. Each and every word which I am going to explain about the WPI and CPI, the question has been asked directly from these words. So first we are going to look after the WPI. What is WPI? That is wholesale price index. The change in the price of a commodity at a wholesale level is termed as a WPI. So what we are seeing, it is being changed at a wholesale level, not at a retail level. If it is done at a retail level, we term it as a CPI. So first we are seeing WPI. So the change in a price of commodity as a wholesale at a wholesale level is termed as a WPI. The another important factor, who released this data? The data is released by Office of Economic Advisor, which come under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And WPI calculate only goods. It does not include services. The question has been asked from who released it. What is like WPI is calculate goods and services both. The question has been asked from each word which I am saying here. There are 697 commodities under the basket of WPI, and that the basket consists of primary or fuel and a manufacturing product, and the manufacturing product has the highest weightage in WPI. Next we can see the base year of WPI, that is 2011 and 2012. The data is released monthly and weekly. And another we can see it is the first stage where the tax is charged. Another we can see the price is paid by the manufacturer or a wholesaler. So the each information, each bullet point which I have provided here, the question has been asked. You can go and look back your PYQ. Next, we are going to deal about the CPI. So as I said, WPI, the price change in a price at a wholesale level, but in CPI, the change of a price at a retail level we are going to see. Who published is CSO, that is Central Static Office, which come under the Ministry of Statistic Program and Implementation. Next, we can see that CPI is something which calculates goods and services both. There are 448 articles under the rural basket and there are 460 articles under the urban basket of CPI. Next, we can see the base year. The base year of CPI is 2012. The data is released monthly. It is like the consumer who are going to bear the burden of this increase, and we can see the more weightage is given to the food item in under the CPI category, and the measure is it is charged at the retail level. So it is at the final stage which has been charged. Another term which is very important, that is GDP deflator, which I have not explained here, but GDP deflator has been asked time and again, and in the year 2023 also the question has been asked. And in short, if I explain here, then GDP deflator is a broader term than this WPI and CPI, but GDP deflator does not include imported article. So this point you have to keep in your mind. Another point which I could remember here, that RBI used the CPI index rather and not the WPI index, and the question has been asked from this also. Next, effect of inflation we can see here, that is positive effect, negative effect. How it's going to be like, if there is I already explained, if there is a moderate level of inflation in the economy, so we are not going into the recession, it is going to give growth to the economy. So moderate inflation indicate growing economy, encourage spending in investment. If I talk about the negative effect, that erodes the purchasing power of people. Like I have given the example of 1920s of Germany, like people used to fill their cart with money, and they used to get in return only one bun. So it eroded the purchasing power of money. It disturbed the saving. It increased the cost of living, and socio-economic, like income inequality we see, public unrest will be there. Next important, like who are the winner during the inflation and who are the loser. So I have given the, you just to go through it, because I have provided this because the question has been asked. So who are the losers? Saver, retired, living on a fixed income. Because like, see, if I have my income is 10,000 rupees and that is fixed, I am going to get. So the price of rice which I was purchasing of 30 rupees per kg I was paying, but the price has increased due to inflation of 45 rupees. My income is fixed, that is 10,000 rupees, but the price of rice has increased and that is 45 rupees. So like I'm a loser during the inflation time. Work on a fixed income, borrower on a variable rates, whole economy we can see in general. And who are the winner? Debtor on a fixed repayment plan. Suppose I have taken loan from my friend, and that loan, like 10,000 rupees I have taken from my friend as a loan, and with that 10,000 rupees I have bought, suppose 10 gram of a gold. I'm just giving a hypothetical example, and now the inflation is increased. So the 10,000 rupees which was earlier, with that money I have purchased 10 gram of a gold. Now due to inflation, this with 10,000 rupees I am being able to purchase only 2 gram of a gold. So who is like winner here? Me, because the amount which I borrowed from my friend has given me a positive impact in terms of my own growth. Government with a high public sector debt, owner of land, a physical asset, firm who can cut real wages. So you can look after this example and you have to memorize it. And you need not to memorize, you just have to think who are the people who are going to be impacted. The both example which I have provided, you can think on in terms of that. Here the benefit of low inflation, I already said, it is somehow provide the stability, and investment will be low inflation, encourage investment, real saving would be there, competitiveness will be increased if there is a low inflation. So this is how you can, sorry, you can go through it. I don't want to increase the length of a lecture. Here we can see how we can control the inflation, like monetary policy, fiscal policy, the policy which is made by the RBI, and the step which has been taken by the government. They both can, like tightening monetary policy. Here we have given the example, supply through interest rate. Tightening monetary policy is a word that increase in a repo rate. So the interest rate would be high, so people will not buy the money from the bank. If you are not buying money from the Fed, the supply of money is not in the economy, and the supply of economy is slow. That means the demand of the product will be slow. Then somehow we are trying to tackle the inflation in the market. I hope you are understanding this example. Reducing fiscal taxes, like tax adjustment, if we can do. Suppose government is trying to if I say government is trying to cut that certain taxes, especially if we see in the direct tax, so or they are trying to increase in direct tax, or they are trying to decrease direct tax, or increase and decrease indirect tax. So then we can see here the supply side measure, increasing production and efficiency. Through this we can like skill development is one of the way through which we are trying to skill the people. So increasing production and efficiency in terms of economy, if the production of this product has been increased and the substitute of this product is also being available, so there might be the pen cost that both the competitor will try to reduce the price in order to get the more number of a buyer of this. External measure, managing currency value, we can see. So this is here I am concluding this topic, and I hope you have understood what I meant to explain you, and that is a very basic term which I have explained here. I don't want to increase the length of a lecture, so I am just concluding this lecture here. I hope I have provided certain kind of input, or provided certain kind of information which might have helped you in getting new ideas. So that's all from my side. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. And don't forget to hit the like button, and do subscribe my channel and share with your family and friend. That's all from my side.